Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the 10 in 10. So we've got the one and only Steve here today. So Steve, you're in the hot seat.
Yes, g'day Troy, how you doing?
Welcome. Good. Now, look, what we've done is we've collated a couple of questions from our community, whether it's from socials, our online community, or from our clients. And what I've done is I've put together the list, Steve, and I'll hit you with the question. And then you've got less than 60 seconds to answer those questions. So we'll get them all done 10 in 10 minutes. So first question. We are a law firm. We have a team of 7, and each time I bring in more work, I then get dragged into doing it. What can I do about this cycle?
So I think with this one, it starts at the sales process. So what we commonly find in any professional service firm is the person that does the sales isn't fantastic at handing over that relationship to somebody else. So whether you're in a law firm or an accounting firm or any professional service, step one is make sure that you sell the person that is going to be conducting the work in the sales process for that smooth handover to occur. If you do that well, the clients will transition to that person far smoother than they would otherwise.
Perfect. Next question. We are a small trades-based business that have a team of 8 people. Most days we break up into teams, 2 different teams to get the jobs done. But when I'm not there, the other jobs tend to take too long, or the team have got to go back to fix it and makes it not worthwhile. How can I fix this?
Yeah, so I think it's really simple. If you do have multiple teams, first and foremost, make sure that there's somebody that's ultimately responsible for the outcomes of that project or that day with that particular team. So from a structure point of view, make sure you got somebody that is responsible. But then secondly, from a systems perspective, making sure that the team are adequately trained. There's specific checklists and quality checkpoints that are to be undertaken throughout that project and that job. And making sure that they're getting ticked off throughout the process of completing that project. So have somebody responsible for it, have the team know what they need to do, and have checkpoints throughout the process.
Perfect. Okay. Next question. I've just appointed a manager to look after our installation team, but I'm constantly drawn in to deal with the team to get them operating efficiently and doing a good enough job. How do I fix this?
Well, I think first and foremost is making sure that the person that's leading the team knows how to be a leader, number one, because we do find that a lot of people get promoted into leadership roles because they're good at what they do, not because they have the formal training on being a leader. So first and foremost, making sure that they've got those capabilities. But secondly, again, it's similar to before, where we just want to make sure that you've got the systems in place and the appropriate checks and balances in place to make sure that the team have something to follow, and that person's got something to keep the team accountable to. So get the person trained up, and then make sure the team have a system that the leader can keep them accountable to.
Good. Okay. Next question. I've freed myself up to do more sales, but I'm just not sure where to start. Do I do social media, LinkedIn, networking, or what?
I think it depends on first and foremost where your ideal client lives. So if your ideal client lives on LinkedIn because they're a professional, go to LinkedIn. If they're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, go to those locations. So first and foremost, understand what your budget is, and then look at where your ideal client lives. Your ideal client might not be on any of those platforms. So networking, proactive sales, hitting the phones, going door to door might be the way to go. So first step is identify the ideal client, where do they live, and then focus your attention on that particular channel.
Perfect. Good. Okay. Next question. We are a family-owned business, and while we have a loyal customer base, we are struggling with consistent cash flow. What strategies can you help to stabilize our revenue?
Yeah, so this one is a pretty common one just because of the way that the economy is at the moment. So I think historically with businesses that have a loyal customer base, they don't stray too far outside of that. They don't put a lot of effort into their sales activities. So what I would do is break down first and foremost, well, what are the goals? What do you need to be able to maintain monthly cash flow? So what is that revenue figure to be able to sustain your overheads? And then start just being proactive in sales. Go out there and meet new people, network, do what I said in a question before about where does the ideal client live and go and find them. don't just rest on the fact that you've got a loyal customer base, because that customer base ain't spending as much as what they used to.
Good. Okay, next question. I run a small digital marketing agency and we are growing quickly, but I'm finding it hard to hire and retain the right talent. How do I build a team that sticks with us for the long term?
Yeah, so staff retention and motivation comes down to four key aspects. So a drive to acquire, a drive to bond, comprehend, and defend. So if you want your staff members to stick around, make sure that you are paying in the appropriate percentile. So you're paying in that 90th to 100th percentile of that position. That the staff members get along with each other and have the ability to. That they're being challenged and feel valued, and that they feel safe and know that they're doing a good job. Hit those four key aspects and you'll retain them and have them motivated. But when it comes to finding the right people, develop a persona of the ideal person that you're looking for. Attitude, core competencies, and skills. As long as that fits and they can get along with the rest of the team, you're going to be good as gold. But focus on those four drivers.
Good. Thank you. As a software company, we've developed a solid product, but we're having trouble scaling our customer base beyond word of mouth referrals. How can we grow faster?
Yeah, so who is, again, the ideal client, and focus on them, and what's the value and challenges that you solve for those particular people. When you are going through your sales, so first of all, where do they live? Go and find them. Be proactive in the sales that you do. If it is a phone call or a face-to-face or a Zoom-based type of interaction in the sales call, really focus on the emotional trigger points when it comes to software, not the functionality. Because functionality will only get you so far. What does that functionality solve for that person? And that's the kind of conversations you need to be having with them to be able to sell them. But if it is just word of mouth at the moment, you've got to find the right sales mechanism, either digital and online if that's where they live, or pick up the phone and start calling them.
Yeah. Okay, next question. We've reached the point where we've maxed out with clients. What steps can I take to start building the team and scaling my operations without losing quality?
Yeah, so I think there's two parts to this. So the first one is setting a resource plan. So obviously, this person's maxed out; they don't have the capacity to take on anyone else. So break down the resources that are required in order to scale up. So put that team together, put it down on paper as to what that looks like and the capacity that they can handle. So step one is that, and then secondly, it's the systems. So again, making sure that there's the appropriate checkpoints throughout the systems of work. So as you do scale up, you've got confidence in the fact that that work is being done correctly, and there's checks and balances. Just keeping an eye on that as well.
Good. Okay, two more to go. Our manufacturing company has a strong operations, but our marketing and sales efforts are outdated. What are some modern strategies to attract some more businesses in our industry?
Yeah, manufacturing is an interesting one, especially in Australia. It's, I mean, we work with quite a few manufacturers, and the common thing is they've got old websites. There's absolutely no education. They're not teaching their customers to what they do and how they do it and why their product's any good. So I think the first thing for manufacturers to do is to look at the sales collateral that they've got around their business. So whether it's videos, whether it's capability statements, whether it's education articles, whatever it may be, to start using some of those thought leadership based materials to help to attract new customers in differentiating them from their competitors.
Good. Okay, last one. We've been relying on one big client, which gives us the majority of our revenue. But I know this isn't sustainable. How do we just diversify and attract more clients without losing focus?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost is to have somebody that's responsible, obviously, for looking after that customer, but understand the characteristics and the qualities associated with that customer as well. So what is it about them, and then going and attracting more of those people. So putting those characteristics together, identifying where they live, and going and finding them. But in terms of not losing focus, develop a system or document the system that you've got for that particular customer and how you work with them. Because if you're going to find the exact same type of customer, that system's going to be repeatable for others, whilst also managing and maintaining the existing relationship that you have with that current customer.
Good. Okay, Steve, that was our 10 and 10. Thank you very much for your time. If you're loving some of this,
do well.
You did well. If you're loving this content,
100%.
we'll have a link below to our community where we work with businesses to help them grow. You can network with other like-minded businesses, and we have Q&A calls where we can answer your questions live as well. So thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, mate.
We'll see you all in the next video.
Cheers, team.